So it's been a good 6 months since I've posted on this account, but we are back in action. This is now the MMA guy. The name will probably change at least a couple times, or it'll just disband. But I'll tell you what, I got a passion for this. I love talking about it. We're kind of balling on a budget. Obviously, you can see my studio's not great, but we're going to work on that. Ariel Helwani, I'm coming for your ass. But nonetheless, we had a really fun week of fights last week. We had one championship on Wednesday, Bellator 256, the start of the light heavyweight Grand Prix. And we also had, obviously, UFC Fight Night on Saturday afternoon. First things first, I'm going to go over one championship. There's four fights I want to go over. First up, Umar Khan. He defeated Patrick Schmid in the first round by knockout. They're labeling this guy the next Ngannou. Umar Khan, in fairness, I think every heavyweight from the continent of Africa going forward will be labeled the next Ngannou. Where's this guy? He's from Senegal. He's 29 years old. He's got a 3-0 record. He's won all his fights by knockout. So we'll see what materializes of his career. I'm pretty excited to see what happens. Next fight I want to go over, obviously the Yuri Lapicus, Eddie Alvarez disqualification. Eddie Alvarez is now 1-2-1. This guy has been so unlucky. Dude, he never gets the respect he deserves. In fairness, a lot of that's because of the McGregor fight. But anyway, back to the fight. If you didn't watch, Eddie took him down relatively early, with ease, I'd say. And in the first minute, he was throwing these punches. He was throwing him towards the ear, and Yuri Lapicus, he turned his head, and one hit him in the back of the head. Ref stopped the fight. It's really unfortunate how that ends. Wasn't Eddie's fault. I'm not gonna say Yuri Lapicus was pulling an Aljamain Sterling necessarily, although he might have been. If you watch it back, you can interpret it for yourselves. We'll leave it at that. It's just an unfortunate situation, and Eddie Alvarez moves to 1-2-1. Next fight I want to go over, obviously the upset. Adriano Moraes defeated Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson in the second round with a legal knee. That is a legal knee in one, which is something I love. Listen, you lock two guys in a cage. Other than groin shots and eye pokes, just let everything happen. I understand that's a very just bleed attitude towards it, but that's my opinion. It was a great win, and I think if you bet on Moraes, I doubt any of you guys did, but he was plus 850 on my book. Some great value. Next fight I want to go over, it's not an MMA fight, but Rod Tang. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Just look up Rod Tang. He's a Thai kickboxer. He's 23 years old. This guy is so exciting to watch. And he fought an Australian named Daniel Williams. And I'll tell you what, I was not the biggest Muay Thai fan going in this fight. I'm going to start watching a lot more Muay Thai because it was fun. Because it wasn't the big boxing gloves. Traditional Muay Thai fights, you have the 14-ounce gloves in the ring, in your typical like boxing style ring. But no, this was a cage. It was a cage with 4-ounce gloves, and it was a war. I believe it's already on YouTube, so go check that out. Rod Tang, the Iron Man, Jit Muangong. I apologize to any of my Thai fans, despite the fact I have about 12 subscribers. He fought Daniel Williams. Really good scrap. I'd highly recommend that. Next card, we're going to go over Bellator 256. I understand most people don't really care about Bellator, but they got a lot of really exciting fighters. Just not a lot of depth. A couple guys I want to point out. First off, where is he on the list? Yeah, Goichi Yamauchi got absolutely screwed over. In my opinion, he won that fight 30-27, and somehow, some way, two of the judges gave it to Dan Moret. It was a black belt fighting a blue belt. I have no idea how you give that fight to Dan Moret. Nonetheless, it busted my parlay, so I might be a little bit bitter on that, but it was a robbery. And 2 weeks ago in the Jason Jackson Neiman Grayson fight, Bellator, you got to get your refs together. I know that's probably the Mohegan Tribe, whatever, the Connecticut State Athletic Commission. I don't care. Get it together because it's pissing me off. That's 2 weeks in a row you've screwed me over. Kat Zingano defeated Olivia Parker within the first 2 minutes with the submission armbar. Wasn't really that surprised. I think Kat Zingano's like a minus 1,000 favorite. And that's the other thing with Bellator. Bellator is very similar to boxing. If you get out of the way of the shady judges, there's a lot of easy pick'em fights, and you could throw 3-4 team parlays. Bellator, if you watch enough Bellator and you can get it very easy money in my opinion. Adam Boric defeated Jeremy Kennedy. Adam Boric is a killer. He's 27 years old. He's out of Hungary. I think he's 18-1 at this point. Let me check. 17-1. My bad. Trains out of Sanford. He's a featherweight, 145. His last loss was Darion Caldwell, and that was January 2020. But Darion Caldwell, he's no joke either. He's right off 3 wins, beat Mike Hamill, Eric Sanchez. Jeremy Kennedy's a legit guy. I don't know if you know about the other two. He's beaten Aaron Pico. I'm looking down this record. Pat Curran, former UFC vet. He's 27 years old. He's 17-1. That's what I'm saying. Bellator, they got a lot of really exciting, specifically young guys, because AJ McKee's young as well. Bellator, they're producing a lot of really good homegrown talent. Guys like Michael Chandler, look where he is now. Next fight on the card. Oh yeah, Liz Carmouche defeated Vanessa Porto. I was very high on Vanessa Porto going in that fight. She was the Invicta champion. Liz Carmouche hasn't necessarily faced the greatest of talent since she got cut by the UFC, but unanimous decision, Liz Carmouche. I think she might be fighting for the title next. I know 125 in Bellator, Juliana Velasquez. I think they might do that Aleem McFarlane rematch, but who knows? Obviously, the main event, Ryan Bader beat Lyoto Machida by unanimous decision, moves, I guess, progresses in the Bellator. Excuse me, my brain's in about 1,000 different places. Bellator light heavyweight Grand Prix. I think next week the matchup is Corey Anderson versus Dovlitzan Yakshimuradov. He is from ACB, which is a Russian organization. He's making his Bellator debut. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm telling you what, I know Dana White was not a big fan of the whole Scott Coker saying that he's got the best light heavyweights in the world. And to an extent, that might not be true, but this Grand Prix is very exciting, and I really wish the UFC would start considering it. Speaking of the UFC, we'll move over to Fight Night, Vettori versus Holland. Impa Kasanganay, he was famous for getting knocked out by Joaquin Buckley, picked up another win. Jack Shore, that guy is legit. He's a Welsh, I think he's 155. No, I'm stupid. He's bantamweight. He's 14-0 though, and he looked really good. Jarvis Daniel picked up a win against Jorgen De Castro. He was like a plus 300 underdog, so he got some good value there. Matus Gamrot, he lost his opening round to goddamn, I was about to say Borat, not Borat. Gugam Kutaladze. He's from Georgia. He trains with Hamzat Chimaev. He picked up a win against Scott Holtzman, moves to 18-1. He's a really good 155er. He came over from KSW. He's Polish like Joanna and Jan Blachowicz. Mike Perry lost again. I'm telling you, Mike Perry is this age is actually that's disrespectful to Mayhem Miller. He's this era's Crazy Horse Charles Bennett. If you don't know who Crazy Horse Charles Bennett is, also known as Charles Felony Bennett, look him up. I think Mike Perry's run with the UFC is over. I hate to say it. I love the guy. I don't love the guy. I find him entertaining, but he's just not on that level anymore. I could see him going to Bellator. I can't see him going to Bellator. I could see him going to like Ryzen or somewhere crazy in Japan. His career would probably fall in the footsteps of Mayhem Miller. Mackenzie Dern picked up another good win against Nina Ansaroff, or Nina Nunez, whatever she goes by now. Mackenzie Dern, first round submission. She's climbing up the ranks. I held Verna Jandiroba in very high regard. That's who she fought last time. And it was a really good striking display on her part. Mackenzie Dern, she's a really nice, just all-around mixed martial artist. She came in the game through jiu-jitsu. She's got a really sharp game around it. Obviously, I mean, she finished it by armbar in round 1, so we know her jiu-jitsu is still there. Joan Marquez defeats Sam Alvey. Joan Marquez looks really good. I mostly just viewed him as kind of this, I don't want to say ticket seller, but he became famous off the Miley Cyrus thing. I actually expected Sam Alvey to win this fight and made it look relatively easy. So not a good night for Smiling Sam, but Julian Marquez, that guy's legit. And he also called out the Kansas City Chiefs after his win, so take that for whatever it's worth. Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is no joke. Give that guy a top 10 featherweight contender. We got a new, I guess, contender coming over from England. 145 is getting very interesting. I was my two favorite divisions in the UFC right now are 155 and 135, but 145 is not slowly. I mean, you look at the killers in 145 right now, the top 10, it's crazy. Obviously, we saw Marvin Vettori defeat Kevin Holland. It really showed me nothing on Vittori's part. Derek Brunson laid out the game plan. Vettori just followed it. I really want to see that Vettori Till fight. That thing would be that's a very interesting fight. There's a little bit of bad blood there now, and Vettori was calling for a title shot. He's not getting a title shot. That if anyone takes a title shot from Robert Whittaker, I'm going to be very disappointed. He's got a tough test next week against Kelvin Gastelum, but I think he's going to take it. And yeah, that's about all I got. Let me know if you guys want me to break these down, do a video right after the one fights, do a video right after the Bellator fights. Because, again, I love talking about this. Yeah, just let me know. Come on the video next week.